Hello everyone, and welcome to my living room. Before I start my reading, I'd like to thank Jane at Nine Arches for organising these book groups and readings, which are exactly what we need at the moment, I think. I'm going to be reading from my book Threat today. Threat seems like a particularly apt topic considering all the things that are going on at the moment. So this is a book about belonging and not belonging. It's about the tensions of family life and a girl coming of age in a small town and the risks that come with that. Threat is ever present. It's in corners of the house. It's in the bridge, under the bridges and underpasses. It's in the forest, and it lurks in pubs and bars trying to look harmless when of course it isn't. So this is also a book about alienation, the alienation that you can feel within your own family and within your community, and also the alienation that growing up you can feel from your own body, I think. I'm going to start the reading with some poems set within the family home. And I grew up in a very small house. It was a 2-bedroom house and there were 5 of us living there, so we were very cooped up. So I think that kind of feels really apt for this time when a lot of us are feeling very cooped up. Saturday afternoons, he nods off in front of the boxing. The fug of smoke round his head. Even the cats shooed from the room. Not a thought in his head, but the blissful quiet, nicotine brain, the roar of the crowd, a brown ale to warm the cockles, not an aggravation of a child in sight. Meantime, we creep round the house, barefooted thieves, trying hard not to make a noise. Mothers at the bottom of the stairs, glaring, finger to her lips. Or in the kitchen kneading onion into bright pink worms of mince. The orange slime of egg yolk. The Litlands begging a treat. Me, book open, on the table, reading. Someone somewhere in a headlock. Someone's lights punched out. The next poem I'm going to read is about heritage, really, and it's about families. My parents, my mum was from Ealing and my dad was from Acton, and my dad's family liked to think of themselves as being middle class, and my mum's family were definitely working class, and there was quite a bit of one-upmanship that went on, really, and I think that happens a lot within families, especially where one family feels that the partner married beneath them. And this is kind of about that. It's about that personified, really. They told us we were made of Webbs and Humphreys. Was that my Humphreys hanging on the line in the kitchen alongside the socks and the scratchy terry nappies? Was that my Webb nestled in the pink laundry basket between the dirty knickers and Dad's lilac shirt? Was that my Humphreys the dog was chewing? In the night time, when we were meant to be sleeping, but were listening to the radio under the covers, the Webbs and Humphreys raged round our room, arguing about who was better than who, swinging from the end of the bunk beds, jumping up and down on brother's chest while he slept, making him choke and wheeze. By morning, the Webbs had hidden themselves away inside the built-in wardrobe, and the Humphreys had fled to the landing, where they played chicken in the flame of the paraffin heater. Sometimes the Webbs and Humphreys followed us to school, treading on the backs of our shoes, poking us, pulling our hair, calling us names. This is another poem about name calling. She was a biscuit barrel, or barrel-shaped at least, as he kept reminding her. The bucket he kicked splashed lemony water up the wall, her face a crumpled tissue on the floor. The dog was whining outside the locked back door. The TV was querulous and mundane. The shopping was waiting to be packed away. The kettle was whistling on the stove. A child was shuffling on their bottom down the stairs. She was a biscuit barrel, though whether empty or full was unclear. He was a barrel full of vinegary homemade beer, his contents leaking out across the floor. A child had shuffled down the stairs and let the dog in. In the other room, the TV blared. The shopping was defrosting in the pushchair's tray. The kettle was still whistling on the stove. She was a biscuit barrel, mopping the kitchen floor. He was cursing the kettle and the dog, shouting through to turn the TV off or else. His mood was vinegary and cold. The shopping was scattered across the floor. The dog was whining in the hall. A child was crying in the downstairs loo. The house was quarrelsome and sly. Brewing. My dad made home brew. I expect there'll be a lot of that going on at the moment. Brewing. In the dark, Aggie Scragbag hears Ma and Pa splitting the night open with sawtooth words, and up creaks the stink of something brewing. Something she sees when she sneaks downstairs, bubbling in its giant plastic bucket, waiting to go into the barrel with the leaky tap. When he sees her in the doorway, Pa does an angry dance. Aggie hot-foots it up the stairs and bangs her bedroom door, lays between Jaffa orange walls and prays for the star people, the ones that crocheted the sky, to come to her window and take her back. But though she pokes her head up beneath the net curtain, the flat roof outside stays resolutely empty. So the next poem is it's about how you can leave home, but it never really leaves you. The language of home hurts my mouth. It spies on me at night, peering in through the letterbox. Though I left years ago, it hasn't let me go. When I was 6, it tied a bit of elastic to my ankle, so I would always bounce back again. When I was 10, it inked its name on the insides of my thighs, enjoying slipping its hand between my legs. This is how it is with us. Me running, it pouncing. Mostly it speaks in screeches, the rising voice of accusation. My hometown doesn't have an S, an A, or any other friendly letter. All its sounds are hard. Weeks and months go by now where I barely say its name, but its language lives inside me, spills out at odd moments as fucks and cunts. A whole town teeming with swear words. Beyond that, the shush of pines. Shoulder to shoulder silence. Shoulder to shoulder dark. This is a poem about school, and it's a golden shovel, which is a poem that takes a line from someone else's poem and uses each word in order. as the end word of the lines. And so my line was taken from a poem called The Cows on Killing Day by Les Murray. And the line was, "From that dry, toothless sucking by the chilly mouths that gasp loudly, in, and never breathe out." Girls' School. We are cows. They herd us from one room to another so that they can teach us that crumbly, dry kind of learning, that toothless knowledge that falls to nothing, sucking us dry, not even rules to live by or tips for how to get along in the outside world. Just number fog, geography of hot or chilly places that we can never take our budding breasts and mouths. They keep us believing that we are small and insignificant, gasp at the size of our stupidity, clap their hands loudly by our ears to move us along, put us in detention for the slightest murmur, plunge their hands inside our minds and twist and pull, keep us in ignorance of the things that really matter, and never ever praise us, never show us the greener pastures, but breathe in our faces, breath so contemptuous it almost knocks us out. So one of the things we did a lot at school was hung out in the toilets, smoking, hiding from bullies, various other things, putting on makeup. But my friend Christine and I also used to hang out at the toilets in the bus station because nobody else ever really went there. And I think it was a place to hide from adults, really, and just a place where we could be ourselves and we could do graffiti. And it seems strange now. Anyway, this is the last poem I'm going to read, and it's a poem after a poem by Jen Hadfield called 90 Place. Bus station toilets. Meet me at hideout, hidey hole, hidden, our own little kingdom. Meet me with a marker pen, half a pack of players, roll-on cherry lip gloss in a flowery glass bottle. Meet me in the cubicle with his initials inside an arrowed heart. We'll ask the walls about Mary and why she is a whore. Meet me at our secret place behind the bus station, opposite the courthouse door for boys on probation. Meet me at damp cement, Isle, Jay's fluid. Meet me by the cracked sink and the broken soap dispenser. Meet me at Tears Fall, rain shelter, conference room. Meet me there as soon as you can and tell no one where you're going. So I want to thank you very much for listening, and I'm really looking forward to answering your questions. Okay, thank you.